Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you 5 brand new Assetto Corsa track mods that you need to check out. We got some super cool stuff on today's list, from some Formula E circuits, F1 circuits, as well as a karting track and some historic circuits as well. So I think we're covering about as many bases as you could probably get on one of these lists. Before we get into it though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it. You can find that down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first mod on today's list, and that is the Season 7 London ePrix circuit, the current London ePrix circuit in Formula E. This is at the Excel Arena, I'm pretty sure. It looks like a warehouse, but whatever it is, it's the Excel building in London, and it kind of makes it an indoor-outdoor track, which is pretty unique. Very much almost kind of gives some karting circuit vibes, but it is a fully fledged Formula E track, and if you have the VRC Formula Lithium, this is going to be a track that you're probably going to want to pick up to drive around. It's 2.2 kilometers long, and it has 26 pits, so it'll fit your full Formula E grid around there. This track has been converted over by Shin. He does some fantastic conversions for Assetto Corsa, and this track is pretty high quality. My only complaint, and it's not something Shin can really control a bunch as far as, you know, Assetto Corsa mods go, but the AI is not the best around here, especially in some of the tighter little hairpins around the track. They do have a tendency to hit the wall, but what can you really do? It's still a pretty good mod, especially if you're just trying to hot lap it. You can find this one down though in the link in the description below. Next up, we head still in the UK, but up to Northamptonshire. This is Wilton Mill. This is a pretty well-known karting track up in the UK, and this is made by Carl Ahirne. I hope I said that right. And it is a very, very high quality track. This is just a demo version of it though, at least right now, and it only has kind of the short layout available, at least with the AI, and it does have cones around the track, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but hopefully at some point the full version will come on over to Race Department, because this is probably one of the highest quality karting tracks in Assetto Corsa at the moment. It's only 0.8 kilometers long, but of course, being a karting track, you don't want it to be too long, and it has 12 pits, so you're not going to be able to get a full karting grid around here, but still 12 is about decent enough, and especially with the short layout, you know, you probably don't want too many more than that, but still quite a fun track nonetheless, and super duper high quality. So when these karting tracks pop up, I always like to cover them. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. Next up on this list, we have a German track that has quite the name, so I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I'm sure I'm not though, and you guys will correct me in the comments. This is Flughafen Frankfurt-Hahn. I hope I said that right. This is an airport that has been fictionally turned into a racetrack. It's got a couple different race layouts, a karting layout, and also just a kind of traffic free roam layout as well, if that's what you want to get into. But this is quite the track mod. The base race layout, if you will, is 8.8 kilometers long, but they have an even longer one that's 9 kilometers long, and then the karting circuits are about 1 kilometer long as well, if you want to get into that. This is actually a pretty high quality track. I was surprised at the detail that's been crammed in here, especially even the little stuff like the grass texture and the 3D grass and the trees. All all look very, very nice around here. There is some nightmare fuel if you're a big aviation person, like a Ryanair 787, it looks like. If you know anything about aviation and airlines and things like that, you know, just by me saying that, what I'm getting at. But still, nonetheless, it's pretty funny to look at, and quite a good track mod as well, especially if you're trying to take some screenshots with some planes near some cars and you don't really look too hard at the planes themselves. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. I highly recommend you give it a download again, especially if you're trying to take some nice screenshots. Next up on the list, we have the F1 circuit that was just used this past weekend. This is the Jetta Cornish circuit. This is made by Cheeky Freaky, and for this weekend, he has updated it into version 0.8. So I just wanted to let you all know about that. In this video, I'm also using the Pyre 2024 extension for it. So if you don't use that, the track is going to look a little different, most notably in the sponsors around the track. But the base models and everything like that are still going to be relatively similar. 6.2 kilometers long, this Cheeky Freaky version. No disrespect to Tyrone and the work he's done on his, especially this year with completely updating and remodeling the track. But this is the definitive version of Jeddah, in my opinion, here in Assetto Corsa. It's got 26 pits as well, so if you want to do something maybe a little larger than F1, you will be able to do that around here as well. We'll get some F2 grids going maybe. But yeah, quite a track. It's kind of a mixed bag, this track, for me. At first, I really didn't like it. I still don't really like where it's located, of course. But the track layout on its own, especially for hot lapping, is quite fun. So I'll give it a pass for now. But you can find this one down in the link in the description below. This is definitely a must-have if you're an F1 fan. Final track on this list is the Wellington 500 circuit, or the Wellington Street circuit. This has been converted over by Shin from R Factor. It's 3.4 kilometers long, and it's based in 1987, so a bit of a historic circuit in Wellington, New Zealand, and quite a unique layout, especially as street circuits go. We don't have a ton of these more historic street circuits, especially from the 80s time period. We got the big ones, of course, like Monaco and things like that, but getting some of these lesser known tracks is always super duper cool, and it's quite a fun layout. Of course, not much elevation change or anything like that, but the scenery is interesting enough to look at, and the layout should keep you entertained, especially if you're in something pretty quick. 3 kilometers long, pretty short, and 34 pits, so you're pretty much going to get any kind of grid you really want to throw around here, whether it's old F1 or some historic sports cars. But it's a pretty decent track mod, not the best being converted over from R Factor, but definitely not bad looking by any means, and it's a pretty fun layout, so I really recommend you check this one out. You can find it down in the link in the description below. That's all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Once again, be sure to check out my second channel, JC Racing, if you want to see some broader sim racing content, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.